Hey! Bienvenue sur la micro-ferme de Biodiversity Preservation à Triolet. Alors, vous le savez peut-être, vous le savez peut-être pas, Biodiversity Preservation est une ONG qui accompagne les agriculteurs, mais aussi les amoureux de la nature, à transitionner d'une agriculture conventionnelle vers une agriculture sans pesticides. Alors, et justement, on a créé cette micro-ferme pour vous inspirer. Bon, on n'est pas là pour ça. Venez, on va vous parler avec Zoé de ce petit guide créé pour vous enseignants. Ah, salut Zoé!
Hello Benny.
Bon, tout d'abord, est-ce que tu peux te présenter?
Oh gosh, that's a big answer. I've been doing a lot of things for the last 20 years, but it's always revolved around caretaking air, water, soil and access to sunlight, and not just remediating these vectors for public health, but how do you maintain them? And agroecology, permaculture, call it whatever you want, has always been a calling, and I've known biodiversity preservation since at least 5 years now, and I was invited to help on this project for teachers. There we go.
Ben justement, est-ce que tu peux nous parler un peu plus en détail de ce guide, de sa vocation?
Yeah, so the teacher's guide was designed to assist teachers in journeying a classroom in garden design and garden maintenance while delivering educational outcomes from your normal curriculum. So for example, you could use this garden as a way of bringing maths to life, geography, history, biology, chemistry, anything you see as other targets in your curriculum for your students. You can use the garden as a teaching tool, an experiencing tool that galvanizes your program. So Biodiversity Preservation gathered its team, so we're not just one, I'm just the presenter for today. And one person really looked at the content. We have somebody from the educational system that knows your limitations and how demanding your job is. And then there's me, who's here with some elements of creativity and practice, because I know that as teachers, you've been trained to be creative and to design learning tools that are adapted to your classroom. However, I just wanted to inspire you, and we just wanted to inspire you further to see this opportunity of food growing and biodiversity preservation as part of your curriculum delivery.
Mais justement, pourquoi les potagers à l'école? Quel est le lien avec l'environnement? Pourquoi il est important, d'après toi, d'en faire et d'insérer ce type...
Sure. So I have a long experience in archaeology, applied social research, geomedical technicity, permaculture, etc., etc. And human beings have been so distracted from the essential needs of life on Earth and the conditions necessary for our well-being. Growing your own food is not just about printing your own money, as some people would put it. It's also about reminding you that you are a being that has evolved out of a dynamic of nature, and beyond that, you have a role to play. If you didn't have this environment, then you wouldn't exist. So the idea of a school garden, yes, the benefit is you're growing your own food and learning how to master your own food, but beyond that, it's about realizing your place in nature and on planet Earth. So I know it's far-fetched, but it is a leap of faith to remind people where we actually come from, biologically, geologically and chemically.
D'accord, je comprends mieux. Et dis-moi, comment ce cours, ce programme s'articule? Comment les professeurs doivent l'utiliser?
Okay, so the whole guide is broken down into 10 modules. And these modules are broken down into lessons. And each lesson has an outcome, has practical tools, has links for you to start thinking about what you can share with your students. I want to remind you something. Although it's a guide, it's not prescriptive. Everything in that book is meant to spur the teacher in you into action at best you can. Again, use your vocation and your passion for teaching and just rebound on what we're offering to be of better service to your students, because you are the gatekeepers of humanity to a certain extent. You are training the next generation. And if we can we stay quiet for 10 seconds?
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear this? This is what is disappearing from our lives. Wherever we go, the birds, the wind, the sea, these things that we take for granted. So this is somehow when you're going through the modules and you know, okay, so the general outcome of this module is, for example, looking at the orientation of the landscape. So where is the place to put your garden? This is an opportunity to not just draw on history and geography and maths, but the biology and the chemistry behind it. And with the kids, take collective decisions. And each lesson is a step in the right direction where you record what you have observed, you compare with other classrooms, because I'm sure that you won't be the only ones using this guide. And at the end of it, not only will you have fulfilled the duties of the school curriculum, but you will also have brought to life a space that is for biodiversity preservation, for food, and anything else, creativity in the largest way you could imagine it.
Ok, et bon, tu nous as parlé un peu donc, de comment se découpe ce programme, tu nous as parlé de la toolbox. Est-ce qu'il y a d'autres aspects clés que tu aimerais mettre en avant, sur lesquels tu aimerais mettre l'accent?
Community. Too many schools in general lack resources, and to think about resources differently, which is why I'm really hoping that the teachers that use this guide go into the reason why they became teachers, especially vocational teachers, the passion to empower children to think for themselves and to see the world differently, or clearly. And one key element for me is, again, bringing it back to water, air, soil, access to sunlight, those key ingredients. And then the community, they have tools, they have seeds, they have knowledge that is lying in there, especially the elders that have worked a long time in their own garden with their own herbs. These are a resource to the school, because I know that budgets are already and always getting cut and cut and cut. So it's about the school, and the neighbors to the school, and the network extended from the students and the teachers, and bringing them together to actually learn together and to bring to life something that is, I would say, perennial, but that brings a lot of joy.
Ok. Et je sais que dans ce programme, on parle souvent donc du School Garden Book.
Yeah.
Est-ce que tu peux nous en dire un peu plus? Parce que c'est vrai que moi, en le parcourant, c'est quelque chose sur lequel qui était peut-être un peu plus flou pour moi.
Okay. So one of the recommendation is the School Garden History Book. So if you're several teachers, you obviously each have your classroom and you're all using this guide to go along your work together. And it's interesting that every record you have of your sessions, what you did, what happened, how were decisions taken, who found the best outcome, is the who so important, because it's always benefiting the community. Where did you get your resources? How are these people engaged with? Whether they're institutional, whether they're just purely family or extended friends, or if it's really out of the school budget. That's something else. So it's about writing the history of what was seen, how decisions were taken, how was the work delivered in the garden, and everybody's compiling their own version. And when you have a cross-analysis of everybody's reports, then you have the best practices for this space in this garden. So the School Garden History Book is a geographic record, it's a historical record, it's a community record, it's a resource record. It keeps everything in one place. For me, it becomes like a grimoire. And year by year, as this program unfolds with you, you will see this book thicken. But what's beautiful, it is co-written. It's a collective effort that always serves the next generation. Because you mustn't forget that your garden, when you start, is very simple. And you feel like you can't do much in it. But as it becomes more complex, more robust, more abundant, then there are new species that come in, and this history continues. What's beautiful is that the school garden is like a roundabout for the life of the school, and the book celebrates the people that made it happen.
Donc, un dernier mot pour la fin, peut-être?
Joy. You need, and I like to use the word need, because often teachers are on the edge of burnout. I know, I've seen you all. You're always on the edge of burnout. You have a tick list that goes from here to the end of the world over there. Everything you have to do, you have to finish up with all your administrative reports to satisfy God knows who. This is your opportunity to stack everything. So, all the other lesson outcomes, how do I make it happen in the garden? Well, obviously you're outdoors, you're in a relation to the trees, you're in presence of the air, you're not in this box, and you can really live your experience of being a teacher fully with your students engaged. So find the joy in it. That's my hope for you.
And have fun.
That's the same thing. Joy, fun, same thing. But thank you very much, Benny.
Thank you, Zoe.
It'd be beautiful.